Welcome to another episode of PC Building Simulator 2. If you missed the last episode and you want to go back and check it out, I'll put a link up in the upper right hand corner so you can easily do so. All right, let's see what we got. I think we had, there we go. I think we had, three jobs came in the last episode. So I think we're going to try to do them all. None of them seem overly hard. Let's take a look at this one. It says, hi, I'd really like my CPU delidding. Delidding? Or delidded? I don't know. Can you do that? CPU needs better thermal material. Can you delid it, please? Can you do it by 3/20/2023? I think explosion stickers would look cool on a PC. Can you do that? I think I might have visited one too many dodgy sites. We could probably use a scan. C. Forster. So, they want us to delid their CPU, put some explosion stickers on, and run a virus scan. I think we can probably do that. Geez, we got 12 days to get it done. Let's take a look at their stats. Can you delid a Ryzen 3 1300X? Probably. Why would you? I don't know. I don't know. I hope we can delid a 1300X. I don't think I've ever done it. And if I accept this thing and can't do it, well, that's just going to kill my star rating. But you know what? Let's go ahead and accept it. Okay. Next one. It's a clone job. Says, I hear you work with computers. I've bought a new storage unit, but my OS still boots slow. I'd really like you to clone it to an SSD. Can you finish before 3/16/2023? My PC has been hot lately. Can you do anything about that? I think Peely and Friends stickers will look cool on a PC. Can you do that? So they want us to clone their OS to their new SSD. Then they want us to adjust their fan curve and put some Peely and Friends stickers on. I know we can make that happen. Let's go ahead and accept that one. Then let's take a look at this customized. It says, oh, happy day. The bishop visited our humble church and was able to bless the new coolant personally. I'm sure it'll now serve us well for many years to come, but I do have one request if I may. The computer does everything I need it to, but visually it's a touch incongruous. I've taken to hiding it behind the pulpit to preserve our church's aesthetic, but keep tripping over the cables. I'd like white lighting on at least 5 different parts of the computer, and for the case to be painted in a pure angelic white. I can imagine it now, a shining beacon of hope and faith. Oh yes, it will be quite something. Bless you, the Rev. Chap Lane Priestley, St. Dibley's, Righam, whatever all that is. So, they got a parts budget of $200 to install 5 RGB components, set to white with static effect, paint the case white, and not to customize the glass. Let's take a look here. So I know that the Z390 Ace is RGB already. Their motherboard block is already RGB. Like, do they want us to add more? These are already white LED RAM sticks. Okay. And then their block for their 1070 is also RGB. So maybe we'll just buy 3 like they've already got more than 5 RGB components. So the question is, do we need to buy more, or can we just maybe get some fans? I don't know. Maybe we'll just buy some fans and see what happens. And if I need to order more, I can. Ooh. All right. Well, let's go ahead and accept it anyway. I'll figure it out when I go to order stuff. So, speaking of ordering things, in the last episode, we did not do a build from spares and repairs to sell out in the storefront. So, this is what we didn't work on last time. It's got a broken graphics card. It already has water cooling in it. I believe I'll probably move some things around. That graphics card has to go anyway. Probably get another stick of RAM. Probably delid the CPU. Got a 750 watt power supply. I think we might be good. Maybe I'll buy a bigger power supply if I get, depending on what I get for a graphics card. It does have a 12700K. So it's got a broken RX 570. That is fine. Yeah, we may move this up to the top, and we may get a different pump reservoir. Maybe we'll get the Corsair little puck one that fits back there, so this can fit up in the top. Then we'll throw some fans in. and it needs to be dusted real bad. But we'll figure that out here in a bit. Let me go out here to the front real fast and make sure this thing still says it's for sale, because I keep having issues with them saying unfinished. Hopefully something will sell. All right. I'm going to step away. I'm going to get parts for the spares and repairs build and the 3 fans for Chap Lane Priestley. And as soon as I've got all those parts in the shopping cart, I will be right back and show you. All right. For the build to sell out in the storefront, we're going to add another stick of the Corsair Vengeance Black DDR5 32 gig 5200 megahertz. We're going to put in an MSI RTX 5070 Ti 16 gig Inspire 3X graphics card because it had a broken RX 570 or something anyway. We're going to add in an MSI MEG AI 1000P PCIe 5 power supply. We're going to put a 1 terabyte PNY NVMe drive. We're going to add a couple of fans. We've got the Thermaltake CT120 ARGB sync in black, and then we've got the same thing but the reverse in black as well. Then over here in custom water cooling, we've got the Corsair XD3 RGB combo, so we're going to swap out the pump reservoir that's in that. We'll save it for another build. It's not like it's going to go to waste. This one's just going to give us a little more space in that really tight case. And then for that build to have 5 RGB components sets all white from Chap Lane Priestley, I grabbed 3 Arctic P12 PWM PST ARGB black fans. So obviously if we need anything else, I will order it and get same day delivery, but I think we're going to be pretty set here. So let's go ahead and buy all of this now. And then let's go ahead and buy this as well. Close all this out. This is in transit. This is in transit. This is in transit. Perfect. All right, let's end the day so we can get everything in, and we'll see if that PC sells. Never know. Never know. Oh, I see shop sales blinking. All right, here's our 3 jobs. Here's all the stuff I ordered. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Let's see, which one do we want to start with first? This is the delid. Sure, let's do this one first. We'll set it on that workbench. Then let's grab the clone job. Ooh, that's a big old case. Dang. Okay, and then lastly, we'll do the one where we need to do the RGB stuff. So for this one, like I said, I've never delidded the, that is a passive CPU cooler. Why? Why? No wonder they have heat problems. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's delid this thing. Let's see, CPU delidding. Oh yeah, you can. I've never delidded a 1300X before, but hey, you know, whatever makes them happy, I suppose. And again, I don't really know if delidding necessarily helps lower temps unless you're like custom water cooling. I mean, you're adding better, you know, better TIM basically. And then a lot of people will do direct cooling. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna really help their temps at all with their passive air cooler. Jeez. All right, let's get this varnish on here. Let's get silicone on here. Man, this wants a lot of silicone. There we go. Why does it want more on the sides? Weird. It says sufficient, but I'm finishing it up. We'll get our liquid metal on there. Get our IHS back on. We can clamp this sucker down. And we can be done with this. There we go. All right. So let's pop this back in. Let's get some fresh thermal paste on here for them. Sufficient. Let's see. Need to get their stupid cooler back on. Jeez. And then they wanted a virus scan, so we'll go ahead and get our USB drive in here. Power this thing on. Ooh, it's fast as well. Very nice. A virus scanner. This thing must be running on just a hard drive. Jeez. There we go. Alright, let's scan this puppy. 520 affected files. Good lord. Man. And then they want some sort of sticker. There we go. That's all clean. Let's go ahead and get their side panel back on. Very, very nice. I don't know if that's done anything for their temp since they have a passive cooler, but hey, you know, whatever. There's their build. Not bad looking. Not bad looking at all. And then let's take this over here. And we're going to put stickers, and I forgot to see what they wanted again. Let's see. And we'll check that sale here in a little bit. Dang, we got 3 upgrades. Okay, they wanted explosion stickers. Is that a category? I'm not seeing explosion. Is that it? Is that what they want? I mean, I hope this is what they want. Put one there. Okay. I'm going to call it done. Let's hope it is. Put that there. Let's grab this customized one. We can go put this on the workbench over here. But let's work on this one next. This is the one that wanted the cloning done. I'm trying to remember. Oops. Do we put this in first? I don't know. Power it on. See what it does. Here we go. Please select a storage device. No, let's cancel that. For some reason that doesn't seem right. Yeah. I really don't remember how to use this cloning thing. So we want to install it to here, but I haven't run the cloner app. So I'm thinking we have to run a cloner app, then that should be here. See what we got. OS cloner. There it is. There it is. This is only like the second one of these, maybe the third. I don't get a lot of these in the game. I got one a long time ago. Clone OS. And then we restart it. And then, okay. So we close that. We power this down. Power it back up. And we're going to install it to there. So hopefully we're doing this right. And then we needed to adjust their fan curve on this one. So we'll need to put the fan app on here. Okay. Where's the fan control? There it is. I mean, this doesn't really seem any faster. So let's do custom performance. We'll do the same thing with this. That ought to fix their running hot issue. Man, it says we've cloned it, so I'm gonna say we cloned it, and then I think they wanted Peely and Friends stickers. Yeah, Peely and Friends. But before we do that, we'll take a quick look at their PC. That is in a huge case. And look, their RAM's not set up right for dual channel, but you know what? They didn't ask me to fix it. So, I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to fix it. Normally I fix it, but I'm not going to fix it today. Okay, let's clear out the explosion. Whoa, there was Peely and Friends right there. They didn't ask for anything specific. So, let's see. This bus is pretty cool. Whoa, that's small. Unless there's like a specific thing that says Peely and Friends. Oh, that explosion's part of Peely and Friends as well. Good to know. Victory Royale. Can we put this on the glass? I don't think they didn't say anything about not putting stuff on the glass. And maybe this weird rain cloud thing. There we go. Oops. Not what I meant to do. Okay, this should be done. We can put this out here. And they did want a fan curve, right? My PC's been hot lately, yeah. And then finally, we've got this one. Paint the case and 5 RGB items. Good Lord. Okay. How is that? Look at this. Their reservoir is going right through the hard drive. Right through it. That is crazy stuff. Let's get these fans out. We're going to replace these with some RGB fans. My gosh. That is something. That is something. So I bought these Arctic fans down here. So we'll install 2 of these in the front and 1 in the back. I don't know why I felt the need to rotate that. But yeah, so so there's that. Then they want it all set to static white. So before we power this sucker on, let's grab the USB drive, power it on. Oh, you know what? I didn't plug these fans in. What is that? What was that other thing that was unplugged? Okay, here's the real deal. Let's get the lighting app on here. We're gonna set everything to static white. Static white. Okay, it counted. It didn't give me any sound. Like it used to make a sound. I guess it doesn't do that anymore. Let's get these parts back on. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It said those fans. Are they serious right now? It says to reinstall customer parts. So they're not going to let me... They're not going to let me just put in these fans. Yeah. Might have to step away and figure out what I'm going to do, because these do say owned by, and I didn't notice that when I took them out. That's something. You know something else? This didn't change. Why am I forgetting to cable these fans? What is going on? I didn't even install that. They're hitting me for this block, saying I spent $50. Okay. I think I didn't really have to do anything to this, but change all the lighting to white. That was super weird. That was super weird. Let's go paint this, and then we'll set it back up and see if it stays. So they wanted it painted white. They don't want it on the glass. It's not even glass on this case. It's plastic. Oh, I can't even paint the... You can't paint the top either? Weird. Okay. Let's go... You know what? I'm just going to slap it on this table. Let's power it on. Let's make sure everything stays. Okay. We really didn't do anything, but here's the build. I took their fans out. I put their fans back in. I set everything to white. It says it's done. Let's hope. Was there anything else? Hey, yeah, no. Okay. Okay. Let's go put this out in the hall. We're going to collect this stuff, so we're going to find out in just a minute if I screwed up on anything. So, the delid job. We needed to delid, explosion stickers, and virus scan. We did all of that. 5 stars. I asked them to delid my CPU and use some better thermal material. They did exactly what I asked, and using it is a massive pleasure now. I'm so glad that they are happy about their delided 1300X. That's awesome. That is awesome. So this one, we had to clone the SSD, or clone the OS from the hard drive to their new SSD, and adjust their fan curve and put some Peely and Friend stickers on. So I think we did all of that. 5 stars. My PC is booting up much faster now, and my PC is running a lot cooler. Sweet. All right, and then this one from the Rev. Install 5 RGB components. Well, I put in 3 and then took them back out. I don't know. Painted the case white. All right. 5 stars. 5 stars. Not bad. We've got 3 flipping upgrades. We probably won't get to those in the next episode, but let's take a quick look at spares and repairs. Then we're gonna take a look at what sold, which should have been the only computer out there. Z390, Z390, Z590 with an i9 10900. X570, Z690. Now we're getting somewhere. Ooh, with a GTX 980 Gamer XL. All right. Let's buy this one. And let's buy this one. And that's all the buying I'm doing today. That's it. That's it. Clear this out. All right, let's pull up the tablet. Take a look at the sales. So we sold the basic build for $5,000. The profit of $2,951. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and collect that. I will take that profit. And I just pretty much spent it at, you know, spares and repairs. So yeah, and then I spent a whole lot more on this build. So hopefully this build sells for a decent amount. Let's get this dust out of here. There we go. All right, let's start by draining this loop and get rid of these. I do not care for the yellow and purple. Let's see, let's get this unplugged. Let's get this busted graphics card out of here. Let's get this side panel off. Let's just unplug everything. Let's see, we'll get the PSU mount. There we go. We'll leave the hard drive in. We're going to add an SSD. Let's get the CPU block off. Let's get the radiator out, because I'm going to put different fans on here. And we're going to delid this CPU. So yeah, I'm going to take everything out. Everything out. We can go ahead and install RAM though. I did buy a new stick of RAM, so we've got 2 sticks now of the Corsair Vengeance Black DDR5 32 gig of 5200 megahertz. We'll put the used one back in, and then we'll put the new one in. There we go. And we can probably go ahead and get the Corsair XD3 installed. It's going to go back here. Very nice. Let's go over here. I think we've already got the delidding thing up. Let's go ahead and delid this 12700K. And get that out of the way. Then we'll swap the fans on that radiator while we're over here. Then we can get these 2 things reinstalled. Sometimes I wish these animations went just a little bit quicker. But it's not the end of the world. There we go. Grab the scraper. We'll get this scraped. Maybe. Okay, that's just not coming off. Let's get the varnish on here. And the silicone. You guys have at least seen this once in this episode, and probably a bunch more times, so don't know if I really need to explain every little thing I'm doing here. Get the silicone, that's good enough. Get this liquid metal on. Whee, there we go. We will get the IHS put back on. We'll get it clamped down in this little thing. I'm assuming, I've never actually delidded a CPU, but I'm assuming you would normally clamp this for a lot longer than, well, whatever 1 second amount of time that just was. All right. Next, let's change our bench over for water cooling. Let's come over here. Get these fans off this radiator. We've got some new fans to go on. We've got the, where are they? Nope, not the reverse. They're these Thermaltake CT120, but non-reverse. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's come back over here. Let's get some stuff installed. Let's install these case fans. We want the reverse ones. There we go. Then let's grab our radiator. Oh. Let's see. Do we want to flip it? No, I think that'll be fine. Then let's zoom in. Ooh. Open this drive bay. Let's go back over here. Let's grab our storage. We've got the PNY CS3040 M.2 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Whoop, I don't know why I just tried to put that in the CPU slot, but we're just going to ignore that. Now let's grab our CPU. We've got the Delidding 12700K. Very nice. Let's get some thermal paste on here. And then we're going to grab the water block that was already on here, this Alpha Cool one for a TR4. It doesn't seem like it fits, but it seems to in this game. It seems to. We're going to swing around to this side. Let's grab our power supply. We've got the MSI MEG AI 1000P PCIe 5. It's a 1000 watt power supply. Figured it would pair nicely with the graphics card we're going to put in here, which is this. You know what? Let's get rid of that broken one. Oh my, that was a whole lot of different noises. We're going to put this MSI RTX 5070 Ti 16 gig Inspire 3X in here. And this is why we needed to move the radiator up to the top. This would not fit with a radiator. So there you go. And we're making this look nice, and it has a solid side panel. So, you know, it is what it is. Next, we need to pipe and cable it. Let's pipe it first. Let's just go for... Let's just do black fittings. I'm okay with the flex. So we're going to go out of here, into here, out of here, into here, and out of here, and right back in. Simple enough. Then maybe with the cables, I don't know. We have like a black and white set. Yeah, there's a black and white set. Let's just do those. Get everything connected here. And then we need to put some sort of liquid into the loop. Let's come down here to coolant. What color do we want to use? It's not like anybody's really going to see it. What is black opaque might be cool. Okay. I can get down with that. All right, well, let's grab our USB drive. Power this on. I'm going to hop into the BIOS because I want to turn on XMP. So RAM OC XMP on. There we go. We want to boot from the NVMe drive. And while that's doing its thing, let's get some stuff. Can I get this on? No. We'll get that on in a minute. Let's dust filter go up top. One goes on the front. Get the side panel on. Let's power this off really fast so we can get this PSU mount installed. And it's a shame that this side panel is solid because... So we're going to leave this off. We're going to leave it off. Let's get the lighting app on here. Let's do something with lighting. what do we want to do? We don't need to select the mouse or the keyboard. What do we want to do with these? Got rainbow on. Just do static. What would look good? Red? Red maybe? I mean, again, you're really not going to see it, unfortunately. But that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. We'll leave the side panel off while we have a look at it. Once we put that side panel on, it's... it's over for looking. Alright, let's get this side panel on. Let's grab this thing. Let's maybe paint the case. What if we painted the case red? Oh gosh. I'm not a huge fan of red, but that actually doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. I don't know why I made the thing go away, because I just wanted to come over here and I wanted to power it back up and see what the red lights. Okay. Yeah, if you're a fan of red, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Let's go put this thing up for sale. Go put this up here. Okay, so we haven't named it. I often pull names from my Discord server. There are some in there, but none of them are going to fit this really basic build. Everybody gives me these epic names, and this is not an epic build. But hopefully in the next episode, we'll make something a little more epic. However, if you'd like the opportunity to name one of these PCs, you can head over to my Discord server. There's a link down in the description. Go to the name of PC section, read the rules, and then, you know, you can submit a name, and maybe you get a little shout out, and I'll use your name in an episode. But let's just call this one Let It Be, oops, Be Red. All right, so we named it. 50 bucks for naming it. We did customize the case by painting it red. We did put in new cables, but not any custom cables. They now will give you both of these if you do custom cables as well as new cables. I did delid the CPU. I did overclock by turning on XMP. That counts as overclocking. We do have a custom water loop. I did customize the LEDs, and I still miraculously have a 5-star bongo rating. I cannot believe I have not screwed that up yet. I can't believe it. Now, I like to get this closer to a 50% chance of sale, so let me figure out what that price is going to be. All right, let's do 5,400. 52%, close enough. When I tried it a minute ago, 5,500 was too high, so it's going to be 54 and some change. I'm not going to mess around with it that much. 52% is close enough, so let's sell Let It Be Red for 5,400 bucks. There it is, up for sale. Very red. Hopefully it sells. Hopefully it sells. It's actually not bad looking if you like red. Very red. It's very, very red. Okay. Well, maybe that will sell in the next episode, but in the next episode, we're definitely going to try to build something a little more epic. We've got all those emails that came in, and they're all upgrades. So I'll have to look through those and see. We may not do all of those in the next episode, especially if they're quite detailed in the upgrade. But we'll do at least 2. I'm sure we'll do at least 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for being here and hanging out. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and ring the bell if you want to be notified as soon as a video from me goes live. Like I said, I do have a Discord server. There's a link to that down in the description. I also do stream over on Twitch. There is a link to my Twitch down in the description as well. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.